All right, you guys, I just got to the homie Thomas's house. He's about to open up the garage, and we are gonna go finally get situated and talk and go behind the scenes with Thomas Pinai, the Speed Addict. Endless projects, bro. You always have endless projects.
It's my life.
Yo, man, I mean, you know, thank you for having us with you, you know, behind the scenes at the home garage. Regardless of whether or not a lot of people think it's all got to be tidy and spiffy, but you know, this is real, and being here at the house with you, being able to go over all of the different projects that you have, and you know how hardcore car life is. I think people don't know necessarily, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into it, man. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Okay, my guy, I appreciate you again for having us here. You know, we're out here in Austin, Texas, home for you, even though originally it was Cali.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, before we get into the actual, you know, actual projects and the collection and everything, you know how I do it. Everything is more about the inspirations, the who's, the whys, the mindset, you know, and as we go over the cars, I think it'll start to make a little bit more sense to people. But what is it, you know, for you that, you know, if you don't mind telling the world your age?
47.
Okay, so 47 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've got people who watch this who are going to be 17, right?
Yep.
So you got 30 years, right? And it's a waste for people of any age to not learn from each other. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
That's, you know, that's what my content, that's what this channel and everything I do is about. It's not just about the builds, it's about the people and the community, right? So if you had to give a 17-year-old who's getting into the scene, whether it be JDM, race show, VIP, drift, whatever, right? If you had to give them a piece of advice as a triple OG in the car game, from Cali all the way over here to Texas, who's built all kinds, dozens, right? What would you tell somebody, man?
I would say take your time, plan it out, and don't get into debt for it.
Okay, that's some grown man shit right there, right? A lot of people don't really allow that to be a factor. They're just doing their thing, and it is super dangerous, especially at a young age, to charge your life away to keep up with the Joneses.
Yep.
Right? So there it is, you got. That's about the realest piece of advice that anyone could give you. Do not go into debt. So this is going to give an example of what Thomas is all about. So did you have to learn that the hard way?
I did.
Okay, so what did you do? What was the first charge, the first, you know, beginning of the process where you were like, God damn, I got myself into debt?
Late 80s, early 90s, buying a set of wire wheels.
For which build?
It was for a Mustang, a convertible Mustang that I had back in high school.
Yeah.
And so I charged it and ended up paying a lot of money for it, and with interest, and paid for it for a long time.
Okay. And did you learn off that, or did you continue to make those mistakes for a while?
No, I made the mistakes from 18 all the way to I was 24.
I see.
25.
And now, you know, this many years later, obviously, you know, you became an adult, career, you know, you established yourself and you kind of figured out the finances of it all. But what do you think about this younger generation that has social media and the speed at which they feel like they have to keep up with people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's hard, man.
It is. It's tough. I mean, because everyone has it there. You see posts daily of just them just updating new stuff. But I mean, it's not real life. Social media is not real life. I mean, it's fake.
Say it again?
Social media is not real life.
The way that things are presented. It is not. It's not even financially possible for people to be doing half the shit that they look like they're doing in the time that they're doing it.
Correct.
Right? So it's an important thing as a family man. We're in his home, multiple cars. This is not somebody who doesn't have a resume. Thomas has all kinds of stuff ranging from throwbacks to a car that he's had forever that's more, you know, contemporized, new school. And then you guys saw the truck, and you saw the Lexus build. There's a whole resume. You know what? Let's do that right now. Let's list them, my dude. Not over the years, just right now. What do you have?
Got a 1939 Chevy. It's chopped. It's channeled. It's airbagged. I've got a 1960 Oldsmobile. It's a Lowrider. Got true spokes on that one. I've got a turbocharged Silverado, 2001 turbocharged Silverado with an Escalade front end, custom paint. It's lowered. The whole frame's been powder coated. I've got this 1998 Lexus GS 400 outside. It's VIP'd out, but it's supercharged as well. I've got in here, I've got the 1997 Honda Civic hatchback. And then I've got 1998 Acura Integra GSR. It's turbocharged.
Okay, that's just right now.
That's right.
So obviously, if we listed off over the years, it would be crazier, right?
Yes.
But that's just right now. So for the people that, you know, they saw the EK, they saw the DC, and obviously they saw the Lexus as we were cruising up in here, and all of a sudden you started hitting with the 39 this, the chop this, right? The, you know, what is the history of you in cars that leads you to have all types of JDM builds and American slammed, airbagged out, huge wheels, you know, hot rod? How did you end up mixing all those together?
Well, I grew up in the 80s. Lowriding was just super popular. And I remember my older friends, they would take us cruising.
Yeah.
And we would see all the girls were attracted to the candy color paint, the hydraulics, the graphics, the custom interior. And so that's what I wanted to do. I knew then. They took me to a show, and I was hooked. So it was Lowriders. Lowriders is what actually brought me into the whole car scene itself.
So what year was that?
I would say it was in the late 80s, probably about 88, 89. I was probably 13, 14 years old.
Okay, so then what ended up being the first build? Your personal car?
The first car I got was a 1977 Datsun pickup truck, and it was static. It was lowered probably about less than an inch off the ground.
Yeah.
I paid $100 for it.
What?
I paid $100 for it, and I was so proud of that thing.
Was it rusted or
Nope,
anything?
it wasn't rusted. It was just...
It just needed work?
It just needed work. Yeah.
Yeah, $100?
$100. I bought it from a friend for $100. He said, "Hey, you want this car? It's $100." Okay.
Okay, even though that was obviously years ago, for $100.
$100. And it was one of those old Datsun trucks. Actually extra cab.
Yeah.
And so I bought one of those. I bought it for $100, and then I had a parts car that he sold me for like $50.
Yeah.
So it was like $150 total. The parts car
For
and
2 trucks.
2 trucks. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and so you took parts from one, got the other one back to like running condition?
Yeah, and I sold it for $300.
Yeah, the numbers of these flips, right? The numbers of these flips are hilarious. This dude made $150, and back then it was like, I came up, right? It fucking came up, you know?
I did.
So you didn't want even back then the truck, that Datsun truck, didn't strike you as the one to do anything with.
No, my uncle pulled up in a 1971 Mustang convertible, and I said, I want your car.
Okay.
So
did he sell it to you?
Yep, he sold it to me. Let me make payments for it.
Okay, cool. Yep. So that was also a taste of financing and money management already, right?
Yep.
Like, because I would like this, and he said, okay, but I'm not going to just hook you up. You got to make payments and be held to them and things like that.
Yep.
Okay, so how much was that one?
I might have paid like $3,000 for that one, and that was 2 cars. I had a fastback and a convertible. Fastback was for parts, and then the convertible.
Okay, and then when did this love, obviously you said the girls and hot rods, candy paint, and then you bought the Datsun, flipped it, now you got the Ford, right? Yep. So then when did Japanese cars and Hondas come into your life?
Yeah, so that's interesting because that brings me to this car right here. I was always a Mustang guy, a Ford guy, old school car guy. I was in the Lowriders, and my friend pulls up in this car, this actual car. He bought it brand new in 1998.
This specific one right here?
This one we're looking at right
here. So 98.
1998, he comes over to my house, and he says, "Hey, I just bought this. You got to drive this." And I said, "Well, I don't want to drive this thing. It's 4-cylinder."
Yeah.
He goes, "Just drive it." Well, he didn't tell me. Once he bought it, he put a Jackson Racing supercharger on it.
Okay.
I got in it. I drove it like how I would drive an American car. I was shifting at 3,500 RPM,
okay.
4,000 RPM. He goes, no. You got to get into it and shift high RPMs. So what do you mean high RPMs? You're shifting higher RPMs. And that's when the supercharger kicked in. And it was hooked.
Guy, good to see you again.
Hey,
good to see you again. We got days in a row.
Come on, brother.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good to see you guys. Yo, it's dope. The Endless Projects homies are coming through. I didn't know, Thomas didn't tell me, but we were just gonna chill. And then the other homies are coming through, so we're gonna go have a meal with each other. Everyone's dipping their whips, and then we'll come back and do the BTS. But right now, other homies came through. This dude just brought the baby. Other dude brought out his baby, the R8. Chris brought out the Prelude. That's one of Thomas's builds. The truck. It's a beautiful day, man. Weather's great in Austin. Shout out to everyone watching right now. I look forward to giving you guys this behind the scenes, but this is a different kind of behind the scenes with the family vibe that these dudes have. So they're showing me a lot of love coming out on a weekday. Let's go have this meal, and then we'll get to the BTS joint with Thomas. I see. Yo, why didn't you angle it, bro? Why did you go on that speed bump straight? Straight? I said, why not?
Looking at different cars. My plan at that point was in 2 years I was gonna buy a Huracan.
Okay.
And obviously that kind of.
Bro,
Absolutely.
appreciate you, dog.
Always.
Drive safely.
Sure will.
Thank you, bro. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about the Lexus build, man. Let's talk about the Lexus build.
So when I first moved to Texas, I bought this thing in 2004 for the wife.
Okay, so the chassis, it wasn't to be fixed up.
Yep.
It was so your wife could have a nice luxury roller.
Yeah, and it was already fixed up. It had wheels, it had a body kit on it. It had an explosion body kit. I forgot what kind of wheels it had. Some forged wheels, iForged wheels.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying this thing for the wife, and then I started slowly modifying it. I got in touch with John from VIP Style Cars,
Yep.
and he got me on his forum, and I just started building this thing.
So it obviously went from for the wife to being back to yours as
Yep.
a fun car.
It's one of mine, so I had to buy her a different car.
Oh man. So okay, so what the people who know VIP builds, they have an idea of what they're looking at, right? But for someone else, right? They see a GS, they see air, they see wheels, you know, they see a body kit, but I mean, break it down, like walk us through what exactly makes this so different than other builds, you know, other GSs.
Yeah, so it's got the Mode Perfume body kit on it.
Yep.
But I've got a friend out here in Austin that does carbon fiber stuff. So he
You added the side splitters. And,
side splitters in the front end. It's all custom.
yep.
A little bit different is we got the a lot of carbon fiber Ganador mirrors. We took off the fake carbon fiber and wrapped it in real carbon fiber. Cut the hood open.
So it would actually be functional venting. Yep.
Functional vents. We got the rod mill and supercharger. Only 25 kits made in the U.S.
Oh, okay. That one, the Rod Millen is only 25 units.
Only 25 kits
Really?
made for GS 400. Yeah. Running the Air Runner kit on it. It's got a Boost Logic built transmission,
Okay.
which is rare.
What is your favorite mod on the whole build?
I think it's got to be the stereo.
Show that to us, brother. The stereo setup is pretty amazing.
I got stuff in the trunk.
All right, so how did you set this up?
So in the 90s, the real popular thing to do with these stereos was stealth.
Mm-hmm.
And so you open the trunk and it looks like nothing. But you start yanking off panels. We did like an old school 90s vibe with the stereo build.
Yep, yep.
Back in the 90s, they took the backs off on amps to show them.
And obviously, it isn't just for looks. The sound is amazing too.
Yeah, I've run in some carbon fiber separates up front. Got the Zapco EQ.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the brands that were the top tier, man.
Yep.
Top tier. It's a beautiful setup, man. I've seen it only a couple of times when you've cleaned it all up. You know, you've got everything all displayed out, and you know, it's been beautiful to see this one evolve, man.
Thanks.
And this is a keeper forever, or not
no.
necessarily?
Yeah, no, I'm willing to sell this one.
Have people offered you anything remotely acceptable?
Yeah, I've got a good friend in California that wanted to buy it.
Okay.
He's been asking me for many years.
Is that still potential?
You know, I don't know. He has NSX and GTRs now, so.
Oh, he has some NSXs and GTRs. You know.
So I don't know if he wants this anymore.
I see. Well, I mean, you know, that and then of course the big body. I mean, this is the biggest one you have, right?
It is. Well, the 1960 Oldsmobile is bigger than this. It's 18.5 feet. So, but yeah, this one is big.
Yeah. So you talked about the Escalade front end.
Yep. See the intercooler down there? It's got It's got a STS turbo on it. It's an old school. I think they came out in like 2004.
And how much does this one make?
We made 550 at 10 pounds of boost. So it obviously it goes up a lot higher than that, but we haven't dynoed it on high boost yet.
Okay. So we talked about the different ones that you have. We got to go over the Lexus, go over the big body truck, Escalade front end. We got the DC and the EK in there, and then of course the ones you listed, you know, that you have that aren't here, right? So car collections, car life, car community, and the team Endless Projects. How did you end up linking up with them?
John, the one that helped me with this one, he was part of Endless Projects. Back when I was in California, I was part of a team, Speed Addicts, and Endless Projects had just started when I was leaving California. And so I remember John, and I knew what kind of cars he ran on his team, and so I ended up getting in touch with John and say, hey, John, I want to start a chapter out here. So he gave the blessing, and so we started Endless Projects Texas chapter out here.
And you're the man out here for that?
You know, there's no leaders on our
team.
word. Yeah.
It's all. Yeah. I mean, like some of the guys that were here earlier.
Yep.
Everyone's equal.
Everyone's equal.
I love it, man. You know, the equality of it is sort of like, it seems as obvious as it is not obvious, because everyone either thinks that, you know, there's got to be like maybe a lead, and then other people are just like, of course there's no lead, right?
Yeah.
But everyone does things their own way. Different crews do things in a different way, and it's cool to see the longevity, because, you know, the age group in that is, you know, it's pretty broad. You know, for Endless. Yeah. So it's cool to see that type of like a more like adult type of style, you know, exist in different places and different builds, you know. Yep. Like I was with John Kruger, you know, out in you know, Minneapolis and the Twin Cities, and in that sense, so we got all these different pockets and the style of things that people do. But you know what, man, from inside to outside, you know, thank you for the time, you know, being hospitable, you know, spending time with you and the homies out here in Austin, and welcoming us to the home, to, you know, go behind the scenes, not just in your garage, but, you know, what goes on in your mind and how you've gotten to this point, and what you suggest others do, and how you think that you could be helpful for them. Yep. So, man, we appreciate you, dog. Thank you for being a part of it.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt, dog. Thank you, man. We'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, so we got a crazy throwback right here. Nope Street. What year is this?
2003. November 2003.
This is your 4-door.
Yep.
So obviously very similar. You guys look at this engine bay, just like the coupe you got from the homie. And then there's his daughter, matching sparkle rear interior and a car seat. You gotta love that, man. So 2003 build, and that one ended up going to SEMA?
This one was in SEMA for 2003. And then after that, I was moving out to Texas. So I ended up, my best friend ended up with this car. The one that gave me that car.
The one that gave you the coupe?
Yep. Ended up getting this car when I left.
California.
Yep.
So you gave this one to him.
Yes, yeah, he got this car for me.
So you guys have just been treating each other amazingly for a long time.
Yeah, he was actually helping me out with this one. I needed a little bit of money to move out here.
I see. Well, yo, Throwback 2013, man. Wow. 18 years ago. Time flies, man.
Yep.
Time flies.